awkward phase. We got over, this moment, and now we're here. Now we're ready. We're live. So, we're live.
Hello. How are you? Okay. So
you guys can say hello. Testing 1 2 3. Are you working?
Test 1 2 1 2.
Hello. Testing.
We're working. So, hello.
Awesome.
Hi.
It's good to be here.
So,
yes, we're very happy, excited. Hello. Being here. Yes.
Okay, cool. So, as long as we're working, so guys, welcome to Toughskin Podcast. Basically, I'm here and I have two special guests here, and these are my first couple. So, you guys want to introduce yourself?
It's an honor being here. Thank you for the invite. My name is Yanni. My husband.
I'm Johnny.
Johnny.
Yanni and Johnny, that's so cute. Even your names just come together. It's great.
That's what it was. No.
That's how I knew it was God's
That's
will.
how I knew.
That was the confirmation.
She has my name spelled in a different way.
Wow.
Instead of a J, a Y.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So thank you for having us.
Of course. You guys
happy.
are always welcome. And thank you guys for driving. You guys drove a long way, right? From up north?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're kind of used to the driving. We come here a lot. Not a lot, but we come here 2 times a month.
Yeah.
Or 3 times a month. So it was very good.
That's
for
awesome.
us.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Whenever something good is happening somewhere,
We're there.
doesn't matter how far it is, you just gotta go.
Exactly.
So.
Honestly, you just have to make it happen. When there's a will, there's a way. You kind of just make it happen and you go, and no matter what the cost.
That's it.
I got impacted a while back by this documentary, Finger of God.
Oh, that's so good.
And Bill Johnson was on there, and he said, I got impacted a while back by this documentary, Finger of God. He said something that struck me because at that time I was living in California. I was in Los Angeles.
In LA?
Yeah.
It's my second home.
And he said in the documentary, he said, don't get mad if it's not happening at your church. Don't get upset or jealous. If you hear that something is happening somewhere, a movement, something, just go. Just go, soak it up, learn. And that weekend, I saw the movie Tuesday or something like that. That Friday, I drove all the way up to Bethel. And I'm talking about 8 hours.
Reading, that's 8 hours away.
Yeah, and I drove there and back just to go to a service. I heard that and it impacted me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it really touched me, and that was my coming back to the Lord. After being away for a long time.
Amen. God always comes through. Guys, I don't know if you guys feel the presence of God. I already feel the presence of God here.
Amen.
In Toughskin Podcast, but we're here, and basically this podcast is called Toughskin, and basically I bring people, I interview them. As you guys know, I'm an interviewer. We were talking maybe 30 minutes before this.
Wait, we need to record this because
let's just record this. We're already going in with the details and everything. So yeah, I basically interview people and interviewing you guys and asking you guys what brought you to Toughskin. So my question for you guys is, I want to know your love journey, your love story. I am a single girl. I'm not shouting myself out, I promise. I promise I'm not, but married to Jesus. But I love love, and I love hearing about love, and I love learning about different stories because I feel that they're all different. Mm-hmm. So, what's yours?
You want to start, babe? Go ahead.
Okay. You want to start, babe? No. No,
Rock, paper, scissors, shoe.
Okay, so well, a love story is a little bit funny. I would say funny, because the way we met, it was very, very funny. Very funny. What had to happen for us to meet at the moment was very crazy. And I'm gonna let my husband to tell that part of the story because it's somehow related to him. But yeah, we met in 2014, and it was kind of our process was very different. Every relationship is different.
Yeah.
And the process that we went through, I would say it was fast. like 2 months we were like getting to know each other, and it was like a click, like wow, like I feel like I know you from like before, like my whole life. It was very fast because the process that we had to went through before we met, that was what God was dealing with our lives.
So personal.
Personal. Like our process was kind of God dealing with us separately, and then when we got together, it was like a click. It was something that was meant to happen, and then we were like almost ready, to put it like that, because God already was dealing with our hearts. So I'm gonna tell you about a little bit about what happened.
She's like my side, the real side.
Before I met him, I was dealing with like a lot of things in my life. I was questioning, my purpose. What am I here? I was questioning so many things, and I was dealing with God. Oh, He was dealing with me in a very loving way, to put it like that. I was very insecure. I was just finalizing, to put it like that, relationship, and that relationship opened my eyes because I was questioning my purpose. I wanted to find out what was it that I was created for, and but I was tired of the same thing. I was tired of having one relationship, ending that relationship, and I felt so empty inside. I was like giving of like a little bit of myself, and I feel that I'm getting nothing. So I was like, okay, God, I don't want anything. I don't want no relationship. I was really mad. I was like, okay, this is it. I don't want this anymore. I want you to show me, to reveal to me my purpose. I want to focus on just following you. I don't want anything. Please, I beg you. I don't want a boyfriend. I don't want a relationship. God, please, like, close my eyes. I don't want, like, I want to go, follow your steps and whatever I need to do. And at that time, I was going to come here for the first time. I got my visa, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go travel.
Just a vacation.
To have fun.
A vacation?
A vacation. So I was like to my grandma's, and then I was like, okay, God, this is it. This trip is like, I'm gonna have fun, but I don't want to meet anybody. I don't want a relationship right now, please. Until this is the man that you have for me, that, okay, when it's that time, please, you like let me know. But right now I don't want anything. So I died to that.
Wow.
I died to be with someone, to go after what God wanted me to.
But you were so content in your singleness.
Exactly, because I was tired. How in the world. I mean, I wasn't in the world because I knew God. Oh, I thought I knew Him, but I wasn't in the world like super bad. But I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But that was a decision from my heart. That was the prayer that I think, that breakthrough prayer,
Yeah.
that, allowed God to work with me. And it was funny because then 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, I met him. And then I'm like, here, like, God, I told you I don't want a boyfriend right now. I don't want anything to do with, like, nothing. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're so funny. I'm telling you, God, I beg you, please, I don't want to meet anyone. And then I met him. And it was the weirdest.
And how was that process? Like, how did you guys meet? Okay. What happened?
Okay, now you're going to know how we met.
So like, grab some ID, like, okay, this is what really happened.
Okay, grab some
So
popcorn.
kind of like the same thing for me. I was at that point where I told God, you know what, I'm done with this. I don't want to be with anybody. If you want me to be with somebody, you're gonna have to bring that person in my life. And whenever you say things like that to God, bam, that's when He does something. Like, he's like,
okay, God, I ask you to. Just kidding.
But it has
whenever you say I've had enough, that's when God says, okay, they've had enough. And I think I was at the same, and I want to back up just a little bit because I want to talk about the same thing that my wife was saying, which was that in that year before I met her, I also had gone through the process with somebody, but thank God that we have that wisdom to teach us those things, because on the surface everything looks okay, right? So the other person, they obviously are in the church, they love God and all this stuff, and I think a lot of times we get caught up in that, and obviously if there's looks involved, she was a very pretty girl, and so I'm glad that I was able to ask those tough questions, like what is her purpose, what is her vision, where is she going. And I think all of that culminated at a dinner that I had, and it was just us, but I invited my brother to come with us, and I told him, I said, brother, in the dinner, don't hold back. Ask all the tough questions, like drill her.
Wow.
Yeah, drill her, like.
Did he drill
because,
you?
So that's what we
Shout out
did.
to your brother.
We sat down, we started asking questions. Where are you going? What do you see yourself in 5 years? What has God showed you?
Wow.
And it was crazy because by the end of that night, everything that I thought I knew about her was gone. Because purpose wins. Purpose wins over everything.
That's powerful.
Yeah, and that's when I was really like, God, I actually apologized. I said, Lord, I'm sorry for always thinking about being with somebody, that I'm over here, like I just want to meet somebody. And I said, you know what? If you want me to be with somebody, you're going to have to do it. It's going to have to come from you. I'm just going to focus on what I'm doing, on serving you, on my purpose. And that's when everything alive
We kind
for
of
us
did
to
the
meet.
same
But
prayer.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was saying you guys did the same prayer, the same time that you were both
It was
so
a
content.
decision. And we didn't
Pretty
know
much.
each other.
Pretty much. And so that's what set up the day, all right? The day that we met. So
Okay, what's the day?
the
I'm
day
ready.
was,
I'm ready.
of all days, it was,
Funny.
Do you remember the exact day and the date?
Of course.
And
You
It
can't
was very
forget it
special.
because
the
it was
time, the day, the month.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas
yes,
Eve.
everyone.
Merry
It's
Christmas.
Right?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I don't think it's probably the last thing on your
So
mind
funny.
that on
you're
Christmas
gonna
Eve you're
meet.
gonna meet
Yeah.
somebody.
You're
Right?
gonna meet your future husband. and your
Because
future
what
wife.
usually happens, you're with your family,
Yeah, you
Right.
open your
Grandma's
presents.
right?
You're not
presents.
just thinking about like you're in your home, most likely.
Exactly. So
You're not gonna meet someone.
Yeah.
You're out.
So-
You
You're
have
out.
you're in the Christmas hats and Feliz Navidad and you're not ready.
Feliz Navidad, everyone.
exactly. So my cousin, is actually his wife is her best friend, one of her best friends.
Yes, from Colombia.
Yeah.
You see friendships,
Everything
guys.
connected.
Everything. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, my friend, my best friend, like since we were little in Barranquilla, in Colombia. Shout out to my people. So yeah, we were from there, and then actually I was going through. I was attending a church, Christian church over there. That the founder of that church was
Is my cousin.
his grandfather.
Wow.
His grandfather founded that church.
That
and
you
then,
grew up in.
that I grew up in. Yeah, correct. And then I was going to that church, and I knew the family. I knew them because my
But you didn't know.
aunt, but didn't know him
Yeah.
because he didn't like. You didn't go
You
there
didn't know me.
that much, so I didn't know him. So it happens that I came here and we were in that house, the Salcedos, and I knew most of them, but it was my first time here, so continue.
Yeah. So what was funny is that night they were just gonna stop by. They were gonna stop by because they were actually supposed to go to Orlando to Disney.
Yeah.
So, but my cousin had the bright idea of fixing the Christmas lights at
Was
the
it
last
Pastor
second.
Jose?
No, it wasn't. It was our
David.
cousin David.
Oh.
And he put a ladder on top of another ladder.
Like this.
Yeah, like what you're not supposed to do.
It was like a big house.
And
rental,
he put the ladder on top of the other ladder, raining.
outside.
Obviously, the ladder,
Did he fall?
slips. He
Rumble.
falls
If he fall.
from like the second story. He breaks his foot in like 30 pieces.
It
right?
was
It was horrible.
something
It was like
horrible.
a gruesome injury. But
Man,
because
thank
of
God.
because of that, they had to take him to the hospital,
My best friend had to like go with him
to the ER, and she had to
the
stay.
ER, and then I had to stay. Remember, guys, it was my first time here. I don't have a car.
You're
My
on
best
vacation.
friend, yeah, and I'm like, I wanted to go to my grandma's. So, you know, it's Christmas Eve. I want to be with my family, and then this thing happened, and I had to stay there that night. And
there was
my
a
best
purpose
friend-
why
yeah.
you had to stay.
And then my best friend was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I was like, "No, don't worry. I'll stay here. Don't worry." So I stayed. I stayed there. And
Yeah.
then what happened?
And that's where we met. You know, we got actually.
So what happened? What did you say? Did you go up to
No,
her?
So
Like,
we got introduced.
yeah, it's like what happened?
Okay, so from my point of view, I saw this guy coming, right? And I was like, "Oh, who's that guy?" And I don't know him. Like, I know most of the people here, but I don't, it's not familiar. So then he started praying for the food and stuff. And then I was like, "Oh my God, who is this guy praying with such an authority?"
But was it a prayer like Father in the name of Jesus? Or was it like
No,
Father?
that's why. Yeah, that's why.
The turkey
I
got
was-
ministered to. I have to say that, right? It got ministered to.
It was a blessed turkey.
Almost resurrected. No.
Can you imagine?
Like one of the wings. No.
The wings of love just came out.
Yeah, so I'm used to like different prayer, my church, but I was like, this guy, he has something different. I was like, the way he's praying, wow, praying for the food with such an authority. I'm like, what? But yeah, that gets my attention, and then after that, we were like getting the food stuff. And I was like singing,
Yeah,
a little bit
I was gonna
singing,
say.
a little bit like
She's always
just to
singing
my
about
own,
it.
yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, you sing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I sing." And he was like, "Oh, it sounds beautiful." No. Okay, that was it. Then one of his uncle, he came to me and he was like, "Oh, have you met Johnny?" And I was, "Who? No." He grabbed my hand and he took me to him.
Stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That's so funny.
But thank God for Uncle Tony, because he took me to him. He was like, "Oh, Johnny, have you met her? She's from Colombia." And then we started.
You know what's funny though? That I
The
thought
fact you said
I
Colombia.
actually thought she was a cousin.
Yeah.
She thought you were his cousin.
Yeah, because I saw her there.
Because you meet those family cousins.
Yeah. So I saw her there. I'm like, she must be a
Like, it's
cousin
a
I've never
family
met before.
reunion, you know.
She's here. She must be one of my cousins. I don't know. Let me go say hi to her.
We were just,
And I thought she
Qué
was a
pena.
family.
You thought she was like cute or something.
Yeah.
No, family friend, I'm from Barranquilla, and it's crazy because, you're not thinking about anything. We already set up the premise of where we are, and yet, it just felt so organic. It felt so organic, and what's crazy is that the first thing that she asked me when we actually had a real conversation, the first thing that came out of her mouth is, "Have you ever been to King Jesus Ministries?"
Yeah,
You know?
I remember that.
That's
he
what
was
she asked me.
asking
She's like, "Have you ever heard of it?" And it was funny because at the time, I was one of Pastor Brian's disciples. So
I didn't know anything.
yeah, so it was like
It's a big church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you can find.
No, like that was crazy because he didn't tell me anything at the moment.
Yeah, that is
It was just,
crazy.
we were talking like where I was like going because it was my first time here, and I'm like, no, I haven't been to like a lot of places because my grandma doesn't have a car. He was like, oh, but where you wanna go? You have anything in mind? And I was like, yeah, I wanna go to this big church. It's called King Jesus with like Apostle Guillermo Maldonado. I was like, because I like watch all of the YouTube videos, and he really like is impacted me right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I want to go there. Do you know that church? And he was like, oh,
Kind of.
yeah,
A little.
A little
I
bit.
can take you there.
It's like I'm a
But
person to
yes,
prefer.
it was crazy because that was the first thing, and then he felt from God. What you heard from the Holy Spirit. He didn't tell me this at the moment. He
Yeah,
told me after.
I revealed this later, but it was something crazy that happened. And while she was talking to me, I literally heard a voice that said, "You're going to change her life. You have no idea what's about to happen." And I heard that And mind you, I'm like right in front of her, and I hear this as she's talking to me.
Yeah.
So I'm freaking out inside. I'm trying to keep it cool, and I'm like, okay. So obviously, when she asked me that question, I knew that my mission, like I accepted that mission right away. I'm like, you're gonna change your life. You're gonna use me. All right, use me.